What's up, everybody? This is John from theCommandZone.com. Have another deck tech for you today. We're going to look at Ruric Thar, the Unbowed. He's a Gate Crash General. He's 4 colorless, a red and a green. He's got Vigilance and Reach. He attacks each turn if able, and the most important part about this guy is whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Ruric Thar deals 6 damage to that player. So that is us as well. However, I have built a deck that kind of plays around this strategy and tries to kill opponents by sort of locking them out. So let me preface this by saying I think I built this incorrectly, okay, first of all. Probably the best way to build Ruric Thar is to just stuff as many creatures and ramp into this guy as possible into this deck. Probably you want to get into Ruric Thar as fast as possible, turn 3, turn 4, get him out there, and then just try and beat down with your creatures and hope that your opponents kill themselves. However, I'm a weird kind of player, and no matter what general I build, I try and lock out all my opponents. I don't know why. I've been playing like this since I was 12. Every time I build a deck, I'm just trying to make it so that at the end of the game, my opponents have nothing on board, and I have all this cool stuff. So, anyway, let's get down to the game, or to the deck, and we'll take a look. All right. So, the card that makes this deck tick is, of course, Glacial Chasm. You'll see this card in Legacy and Lands, and you'll see it in my Ruric Thar deck. So anyway, I built the deck around Glacial Chasm and making Glacial Chasm really good. How does Glacial Chasm interact with Ruric Thar? Well, if Glacial Chasm is on the board, I never take any damage. Simple as that. I can cast all my spells. I can do anything I want. I can interact with my opponents, and I take no damage. Whereas if they try and interact with me, or if they try and do anything really, they're going to take 6 damage at least from Ruric Thar. So let's go and look at a couple of the kind of integral cards in this deck, which make it kind of run. Alright, so let's first look at this guy. Everyone knows him. It's Furnace of Wrath, doubles all damage. So effectively, you will take 12 damage if you'd like to cast your Soul Ring, or Kadama's Reach, or pretty much anything. And obviously you'll see that you're going to lose the game very fast because you're taking 12 damage. Alright. Next one. A buddy of mine let me borrow this. Thanks, Matt. It's Nullstone Gargoyle. He kind of costs a lot. It's 9. But he says that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, or the first one that's cast, it's countered. So if you'd like to play a non-creature spell on your turn, it is going to cost you 12 life with Ruric Thar in play. Same thing with this card, Possibility Storm. If you want to play one spell, you are going to take 12 damage. So every time you decide to play a non-creature spell, you will take 12 damage if Ruric Thar is on the board, and I will take 0 if Glacial Chasm is out. Alright. If Glacial Chasm is not out, we can play a card like Platinum Imperium, or we can play a card you'll see later like Eternity Vessel, and hopefully that will keep our life total high enough so that we can interact with our opponents, and our opponents cannot interact with us. Okay. Now the last card of my little integral set here is my win condition, which is Mindslaver. So basically what I'm going to do is just try and stall out the board for as long as possible, make sure that my opponents cannot play any spells, and if they can play any spells, they can only afford to play like 1 or 2 a turn and really not affect very much. So what Mindslaver does is I will cast it, I will use it, and hopefully at that point I will be able to kill at least 1 opponent. Sometimes I can kill 2 by just alphing another guy, and then casting all the spells, all the non-creature spells, from like player A's hand, while killing player B with an alpha strike. So that's kind of how Mindslaver works. Glacial Chasm is really good as well because your opponents cannot attack you. They're incentivized to attack other players, right? Because I just don't take any damage. So unless they have some kind of Strip Mine or Acidic Slime kind of effect, some kind of LD effect, I'm really not going to be taking much damage aside from the cumulative upkeep on the Glacial Chasm. Alright, so let's get rid of these cards. We'll put Ruric Thar over in this corner, we'll get Glacial Chasm over here in this corner, and we'll go to the mana base real quick. We'll start with the basics, and I will tell you outright there are, I believe, 39 lands in this deck. There are some number of mountains which I don't care to count, and there are some number of forests, which I also don't care to count. After that, we have a couple lands, Stomping Ground, Rootbound Crag, and Taiga. Okay, we have some number of fetches. I have 4 in this deck. I don't know why I have 4. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If I was a better better deck builder, I'd have like the exact amount of, fetches to get the exact amount of mana that I would need, but whatever. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. We have a Mosswort Bridge. Oh, I forgot a fetch. There's an Arid Mesa. I should probably have another green fetch in there. See how bad I am? I need another green fetch. We have a Forgotten Cave to cycle some land, or to cycle it. We have a Tranquil Thicket as well to cycle. We have a Reflecting Pool, Ancient Tomb, Strip Mine, Command Tower and Raging Ravine, and we have a Keswick Wolf Run. Now, the last two lands that I have in the deck are very important. We'll start with a Vesuva. It copies Glacial Chasm, so that's really important to make sure that we can either, so now let me just say this. Vesuva resets the counters on Glacial Chasm, which is very good. However, when it comes into play, we do have to sacrifice a land, so that's a negative, alright? If we want to make sure that we reset the counters on Glacial Chasm, plus not sacrifice a land, then we want to play Thespian Stage. It's already in play, so we don't have to sacrifice a land when it comes in play, yada yada yada. Alright, that's the land. So, like I said, all this deck is going to do, I lost my Glacial Chasm. Where did you go? Uh-oh. It's gone. Alright, no more Glacial Chasm. Sorry, guys. Let's look at the non-creature spells. We'll go through them all. Here we go. Garruk, Ramsus. Obviously, Sylvan Library. Holdreach. Uh-oh. I'm getting lost here. We got a Regrowth. Let me put these down a little bit so you can see them. We have Beast Within. Vanablast, very good to get rid of all of your opponent's artifacts. We have Lightning Greaves, Praetor's Council, Gamble, Harmonize, Life from the Loam, Earthquake, Mana Barbs, another good one with Ruric Thar. Our opponents, if they want to cast their spells, they will take damage from their lands, whereas we will not if we have a Glacial Chasm out or a Platinum Imperium or whatever it is. So, we'll continue on. Kodama's Reach. Creeping Renaissance. We want recursion in this deck. The cards in this deck, because it is like, half red, the deck is not very strong. The individual power level of each card is not very good, not very strong. So we're trying to work through synergies here in order to make this deck a little bit better, because it's just really not very good. Alright, let me get to some cards that fetch out our Glacial Chasm. We have Realms Uncharted, Expedition Map, Sylvan Scrying, and the most important one is probably the Crop Rotation. Crop Rotation comes in instant speed. You can time walk your opponents who try and alpha you. So you can just, you can get attacked, you can go into your combat or whatever, they attack you, and then you just Crop Rotation out your Glacial Chasm. You take no damage, you time walk them, it's pretty funny. Alright, I did forget one more. We have a Skyshroud Claim in the deck, like most green decks do. So that's some of the non-creature spells. Let's get to some artifacts. We need that recursion of land, so we're going to play the Crucible of Worlds. If someone does kill our Glacial Chasm, we're going to have to recast that, or replay the land in order to kind of, win the game and solidify our board state. So, Crucible of Worlds, important. We have a top, a Relic, a Mana Crypt, Mind Stone, Thran Dynamo, Signet, Grim Monolith, Anka Mishra, very good. If you can get out turn 2, your opponents are going to be kind of low on life when your Ruric Thar comes out. So, if you get that Ankh going, your opponents are going to be at 20 life before you even know it, and you haven't even done any damage to them. So like I said, I'm kind of a weirdo. I built this like Ruric Thar, who should be played with all creatures, and I really put no creatures in the deck because I'm kind of strange. But anyway, let's continue on. We got a Gilded Lotus, Mana Vault, Soul Ring. Here's that Eternity Vessel, which is going to keep our life total high. That's one reason to have a lot of fetches in the deck. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, we have Darksteel Plate, keep our Ruric alive, and we have Winter Orb to lock out our opponents, make sure they cannot cast their spells. And if they do want to get, kind of incremental advantage on the board, it's going to come very slowly, and they're going to have to take a lot of damage from Ruric in order to get that out. Okay, so those are the artifacts. We're getting through this pretty quick, and we'll go last over to the creatures. So we got through this deck kind of quick, but it's okay. We want to get through as fast as possible. I know you guys got a lot of stuff to do today. So, Solemn Simulacrum, ramp. Rafellos, ramp, obviously. We have Wood Elves for the ramp. We have Sakura Tribe Elder for the ramp. We have Farhaven Elf for the ramp. Yavimaya Elder for the pseudo ramp. And then we have a couple ramp cards themselves. We have Azusa and Oracle of Moldiah. Alright, After that, let's go with an E-Witness. E-Witness is good. Where are all the red creatures? I don't see any. Oh, here's one. I think there's one red creature in the deck. It's Hoarding Dragon. He'll get one of our combo pieces, our Win Condition, Mindslaver, Eternity Vessel, right? Something like that, a Crucible of Worlds, a Winter Orb. Whatever we need at the time, he'll get. He's going to go fetch that for us. We don't really have, like, being in red and green, we don't have the luxury of having really good tutor effects. We have green tutors for creatures only, and red obviously has nothing except for a gamble. So we want to play, what we can, and Hoarding Dragon is, really the best we have. So we'll play him. Alright. We have Woodfall Primus. We have Vorinclex, Avenger of Zendikar, one of our new win conditions. We have Wormcoil Engine, get us back some of that life if we are, getting a little bit low. We have Kozilek to get us some cards. Steel Hellkite, Acidic Slime to get something pesky out of the way. Loaming Shaman, this guy should come out of the deck. He's not very good, but he's in there right now. So if you decide to build it or something, let me grab another card here real quick. Put in a Garruk. You should put in a Garruk over Loaming Shaman. Something like that. Something to draw you some cards. But anyway, if I rebuild this deck and keep playing with it, Loaming Shaman is out, and I suggest you do the same. My favorite card and yours, Fierce Empath. He gets all my good creatures. And last, I think this guy, Woodfall Primus, I'm sorry, not Woodfall Primus, Sylvan Primordial, he, in my mind, has replaced Terastodon as my go-to in green for non-creature removal spells. The reason I chose him over Terastodon is because he ramps in green, and that's very important. And like the three 3/3 elephants that Terastodon makes are always like irrelevant. I've never had any game state where they're just not chump blockers or whatever. Get in for like some minute amount of damage that does nothing. So that was Ruric Thar. I think I'm out of cards. And to recap, he kind of just stalls the board state out. He makes it so your opponents can't play anything to an eventual win condition where he just kills everyone at the same time. I think that's how all my decks end up turning out. I don't know why. I'm just kind of weird like that. But that's my style of this deck. If you want to build it with the all creatures, I suggest you do that. Try it out, see how it works. Leave me a comment. Come to thecommandzone.com and write something. Write something in my deck tech or whatever, or my deck list when I put it up. So there will be a deck list of this online. Come check it out, please. Subscribe, and I'll have more videos for you in the future. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.